to the spot like Phil Collins sang it. Fresh new fade with the mustache banging. I know you want to know where the fuck I'm from.
Check it out real quick. Episode 26 with Sonny Boy Loester. Brought him back on for a special podcast, talk about his family ordeals and stuff, see what you're going through if you want to update us.
Yeah, well, my two boys last were in county jail. The one for the high speed, he got a coup deal, 6 with half. He got to keep his license because of the high speed, just because he was driving on the wrong side of the road. They were trying to say that he was trying to assault the officer.
So your two children, like I'm saying, your two sons, they have two separate cases.
Two different cases.
Oh, okay.
So one had the high speed with the gun charge, and then the other one had a gun charge alone. And then
so the one with the high speed with gun charge is that's the one you were talking about last time, right?
That was one of them.
When they searched the car or something like that.
That was the other one that when they searched the car and they found the bullet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then they said it matched with the gun that was found across town.
Right.
Yeah, so the other one got 6 with half, got to keep his license. He's doing his time. The one for the gun charge, he ended up taking the deal for 2 with half. But while he was in there doing his time, they did this operation, what was it? Operation Royal Flush, Kings County indictment. And something seemed weird because he called me in the morning. He was like, "Hey, they just hit the dorm, and I was the only one they talked to." I was like, "What? That's weird." And then at the same time, I'm seeing all this is going on. Mm-hmm. So I was like, "Man, I wonder if it's tied into that." So it ended up, he got charged with the murder, homicide. Him and two other young men got charged with that.
Oh, the other 2 guys were free?
Well, actually, there were 2 guys were in prison. One of them got released, had something else, got bailed on bail, got indicted on that, went in for a gun charge, bailed out, and then they took him for that. So it was kind of weird, the way it happened. And the other one was in prison. He on his release date, they took him to county.
So your son was close to home before
he didn't have too much time. He would have been home. If that didn't happen, he would have been home February 14th. So he didn't have to do too much time.
So is he back in the county now fighting it?
No, because of him moving yards, he couldn't do those programs to cut time. So now that pushed his release date to July. So he's in Corcoran SHU right now till July. And then I'm sure they're going to send him to county.
Oh, shit. What do they got on him?
You know what? To me, I feel they don't have nothing. I feel like they're just trying to find somebody to put it on. You know what I'm saying? You got these group of kids that they get caught, they get gun charges. I mean, you could find them, they could cruise around town. I mean, you're allowed to cruise around town, and if you're in the area of something happening, they're going to be like, "Oh, it was them,"
Yeah, the cell phone pinging and all that shit.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Uh-huh.
Well, man, damn, like, how are you pushing through this, man? Like,
it's rough, man.
I mean, the reason why I'm interested, man, because, as you know, I got boys too, I mean, I got sons, and my heart goes out to you, I mean? It's not something that you could take lightly of what you're going through, so I'm not just interested in the story because I heard the story on, Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that, but I didn't read too much into it. I just heard your little TikTok, and I'm like, hey, man, I remember hearing him talk about his boys, and I relate to it, so that's why I wanted to bring you back on, so I could, hear how things going and we could share it,
Yeah, it's rough. It's just one thing is you can't give up, especially when it's your kid,
Yeah.
To you, they're always gonna be your little boys. You see them as little,
Yeah.
And it's just like attorneys ain't cheap. That's one thing, and that's gonna be your boy's life in their hands. Mm-hmm. And right now, I'm just trying to raise money tomorrow I'm gonna have a food sale. I'm gonna sell $2 tacos and $12 asada potatoes, and hopefully.
Where you
people
doing the
will-
sale at?
Right there in Corcoran at my
Okay.
mom's house,
Okay.
1012 Duran.
All right.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just got to keep pushing, man. And just motivate him. And then the thing is too, okay, so he goes get shipped from Solano to Corcoran. So he's in the shoe for court. He don't have no disciplinary actions, so he should keep all his privileges because of that. And so I'm sure they hear our conversations. I'm always keeping them motivated. My nephews, my brother, everybody keeps them motivated.
Yeah.
And
How old is he?
He's 19.
Damn.
And so first they're like, okay, he could keep his privileges, have his tablet and all that. Yeah, I know he's in prison. Like, people are gonna be like, well, he's in prison. He don't deserve to
Yeah,
have
but you
privileges.
still gotta. You're. There's no way you're not gonna feel what he's going through and then think about his mental,
Yeah,
health and shit.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's like they strip him. Okay, you can't have your tablet. I mean, he could have it, but only for like maybe reading books or I don't know what they have on there. But there's no communication now, and I'm not sure about his packages and all that. But because I haven't even talked to him since then.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they're just trying to break him. Trying to break him.
Yeah. And that shit's that's not easy, man. I mean, that's a hard thing to do, to sit there and face these kind of things and not knowing what's ahead of you.
Yeah, and
especially at that young age, because I don't care what nobody says. He's still a kid.
Yeah, and he's like positive, but deep inside, come on, man, when you're not talking to nobody and you're alone, who knows what goes through your mind,
Yeah. For the audience, probably watching this is probably going to be like, well, wait, like, their thoughts are going to be like, well, wait a minute, like, is he a good person or what? And stuff like that. So, we don't know, but just let the case play out, and that'll be another episode, But I just wanted you to just pretty much follow up on the stuff that's already been thrown out there. You know what I mean? That, I seen you were upset about some things, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
People are speaking about you and your family in a negative way.
Yeah, because, oh, boy, he made it seem like if we're teaching our kids bad, because my dad got killed in prison. I hardly even knew my dad. But what I know of him and what they tell me, like, he was not a gangbanger like that. He was a regular man. Yeah, he was a cholo. It was the 70s, you know. But he wasn't like no man like to be out there gang banging on the streets.
Yeah. There's a big difference. Yeah, there's a big difference. It's a cultural heritage for a lot of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what it's these things that we inherited. It's not like, to us, we thought we was doing all right. You know what I mean? But you do grow out of it. And you're supposed to learn from from your mistakes. And some people are not that fortunate to be able to learn from them and stuff like that. But, like, I always I'm not like all holy with the Bible and stuff like that, but I always quote, the Bible because it says, for these people to be judging you, that's a sin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And gossiping about you and your family, that's kicking you while you're down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
And if these people want to run around and say they're believers in God, that's not true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're supposed to help. They're supposed to help you. Supposed to pick you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's like the same thing. Like, this person's supposed to be supposedly helping the youth.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. I have probably helped the youth more than that, by reaching out to people. Like, there's multiple homies that I have helped get their trucking license, and I motivate them. And these kids too, growing up, I'm like, hey, man, like, you got to talk to them the right way,
Yeah.
And then you don't put nobody's business. Like, my family's cursed, but at the same time, we're also blessed to have the ones we have that are left, because, I had two cousins that my dad was killed. My two cousins were killed the same night in 97. There were two brothers. Their brother ended up taking his own life, 5 years ago? My grandma was murdered by her boyfriend about 11 years ago. So it's like, we're cursed. But that's my story to tell. Like, I know the facts. This person don't know no facts.
Yeah. No, it's true, man. Everybody has a story to tell, you know. I don't get discouraged though, man, because like from the outside looking in, I don't look at you like a bad person. I look at you like I'm saying like a man that's caught up in just victim circumstances, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just the way it is. But it could happen to anybody, dude. Look at all these, you know, politicians and their kids grew up in the best home, best schools, and all of a sudden they go and blow up a school or go shoot up a school or, you know, do some weird shit like that. You know what I mean? So it's not, I don't, you know, like I always try, you know, tell people, try to uplift them and stuff, like don't get discouraged because, you know, our color and who we are, because they look at themselves like that too. They think we look at them like that because they have, you know, for the people who's judging, you know, and I don't know, man. I just can never go out there and just judge people like that when they're doing that bad. Like I don't know how anybody can have that kind of cold heart. You know what I mean? Like no. So that's why I was like, man, I feel bad for you guys, man. But yeah, don't get discouraged, man. You got to stay strong. I mean, I see you, man. You look like you're staying strong. You know, standing by that truck, it was a good look, man. And you know, in your video you made, and you made a lot of sense, man. You know, even though like you know you're not talking all the time on social media, but whatever you said was coming from the heart. You know what I mean? It was real shit too. Like, hey man, you know, your father was a trucker too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. You try to get your son in, you know, he was getting ready to sign up for it, stuff like that.
And then my other boy was on the verge of already getting his license for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all positivity. It ain't negative, like.
So you tried all you can. I think we touched up on the last one. Like you did everything you can. You tried to put your kids in sports and
baseball,
and then small towns and stuff. You know, it's like what else do they have for the children?
Yeah, it ain't much, and it's just like I got on one post because it was like Facebook has this page where there's one person, he puts all the news, like if there's a drive-by. Well, there's a drive-by here, you know. Mm-hmm. So he put one of them boys that got arrested. He put his charges on there. Yeah. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you put somebody's charges on there? And then they're all, so we can know, you know, this and that. And I'm like, nah, you just want to talk down and throw stones at this kid while he's down. Yeah. I said, okay, just for example, okay, because this is what happened to my son. Yeah. He never got in trouble. 8th grade, he gets in a fight. Yeah, fighting's bad, violence is bad, but it happens. So he gets in a fight. So the principal expels him from school, his first time. So expels him, says it's gang related, expelled him from school. He's in junior high, 8th grade. He expels him. Now he got all this time on his own when his parents are at work trying to make a living. So I tell the principal, I go, okay, so you obviously have a degree, who knows, maybe multiple degrees, and this is the only solution you could come up with is suspending a kid or expelling a kid so he can have more time, more freedom to go out and do who knows what, you know? Yeah, he should keep his butt home, but sometimes they don't listen.
You know, that's a good point, because I used to always think about that, but I think what it is probably a tactic when they give you a label, because they know it's a mental thing, and you start to embrace that label and say, hey, this is who I am then. Yeah. You know, so you go hang out with these boys. You don't feel like you fit in with these people, you know? Uh-huh. So it's just like when they give you that label, it's like putting stamps on sheep, you know, and these sheep go this way, these sheep go that way. You know, I don't know how it works out there in the field with that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like, I think my opinion of that is like, with this video we could share with the audience is, if you have kids and you're watching, maybe when it starts at school, you know what I mean? Because they build a complex up, you know, that was his first time getting in trouble. He should have sat with a counselor, somebody who has like a degree in psychology, that not just has a degree in psychology, but actually grew up in the area that he did, so they could relate to him, you know? Yeah. And talk to him and just, okay, and then keep an eye on him.
Put him in an after-school program.
Yeah, he should have never got disciplined for that. He should have got, like, you know, a slight tongue lash, but like as a brotherly thing, like, here, man, you know, we're gonna make sure you catch this ball next time. You know what I mean? You know, like uplifting. Cause that's what happened to all of us. You know, I remember you. Shit, I was the fuck. All right, then that's who I am now, and I always
You just grow
felt.
with it.
Yeah, I always felt like I always felt like it was me, like I was in the wrong. And you walk around with that complex, so it's hard to smile, and
That's true.
you end up rocking with the rest of them like that.
Yeah.
All.
And now you're a group of the same
Yeah,
individuals.
yeah. It's a society thing, man. It's a thing that society failed at.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Questions for you is, what do you think for your guys' town? What would be helpful, for the kids to go in different directions?
Shoot, man, it's just weird because it's like maybe like a boys and girls deal, like more programs, maybe more after school programs. It's like,
Yeah.
because it's happened to a lot of kids. Where it happened to myself. After 8th grade, you're playing football, Pop Warner, all that. After that, it's a wrap. Like
Something
you're
to
out
put their ego and their pride to, huh? Like the energy.
Yeah.
Because if not, they're gonna put it towards something else. They want to get their.
And then it's like the same too. It's like, okay, because like you said, you don't fit in with these people. You're gonna go with these people.
Mm-hmm.
Football, I wasn't the biggest. I wasn't the baddest. I tried my hardest,
Yeah.
but I just couldn't do it. So when I went this way, all these dudes are patting me in the back, like, "Hey, man, hell yeah, you're down, man. You're a bad dude,
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps going like that.
Yeah. There's I don't know. There's a lot of things that I don't know. Boys and girl clubs. I seen that growing up, but there wasn't enough of them. I think needs to be a lot of people who really went through it, like them, to be on site in those neighborhoods.
Yeah.
To be there and to relate to them so they could listen to them. But I know when some stranger that never walked through, like walked in my shoes, tries to talk to me, I look at him like, dude, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's true.
But how? So you guys are raising money for the lawyer fees?
Yeah.
Damn, that's got to cost an arm and a leg. Huh?
Oh yeah, I talked to a dude the other day, and it was like $100,000 for a trial, because you only do up to prelim, and that's a certain price.
Yeah.
And then after the prelim, then it's gonna go to the next court over.
So can't you guys? I don't know how that works with those kind of cases, but can't you guys just go ask for a speedy trial just so your money could all go to that? But you guys want
Yeah, I'm not sure how the law goes, or like in that case. So it's like, should you do a speedy trial, or
I don't know. Like that's a good question. Like, because then that way your money would just go all to the trial, because all the courts before that is to see if is to pick the reports apart to see if it's strong enough to go to a trial.
Yeah. See, that's
You know
what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna roll with who he got right now, and then when it goes to trial, that's when I'm gonna.
Yeah, you could use the public defender for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, to pick apart. Just just have faith in the public defender, and just they're gonna want to have a lot of talks with you guys just to see where you guys are at, so they could see.
Yeah, because that all comes with the private investigator and gang. What is that? The gang expert. You got to pay all them.
Yeah, it's all about the facts and the truth, man. And it's, I don't know. That's a hard situation, man. Like.
Yeah, and it's crazy too, because it's like I can't talk too much about the case itself, but it's like I had a feeling like I seen it coming. It's like, because they have done that before. Like these cops in Corcoran, they've been known to be dirty.
Yeah, I heard you say something
like a little
that.
mini LAPD, Compton PD.
Yeah.
It's like back in the days in '97.
Well, it's a small town.
Triple homicide.
They're trying to get up their cases. Excuse me, I don't mean small town. Maybe they're trying to get up to be detectives and go to another city. Or something,
That's true. Yeah, and there was a triple homicide, and it was rumored that it was them that did it. And it's like, okay, they had no kind of evidence. Like, they had no clue. They needed help from the community, whatever. And then all of a sudden, they're like, okay, we got these two boys, these two suspects, and we have another suspect, small in stature, with the tattoo. And I was like, the fuck? That sounds like my son. I'm like, I know, because I know for a fact, like, that I know that it wasn't him, you know? So that's I'm putting my heart and soul into this to help him come home.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have a feeling they're going to fucking pin it on him. And even my brother hit me up and he was like, did you see that? I said, yep. He was
Oh, that was in the news?
That was on the report that just came out like a year later.
The report was on the news?
It was on not the news, but there's like a kind of press release that comes out from the town like every so often.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I was like, that's weird.
Shit's scary, man.
Yeah.
That's why I got close relatives and like I won't even get in their car, man, for certain reasons. I'm like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I desperately need a ride. Like, nah, I'll take the bus.
Yeah, you don't want your DNA in there, nothing.
Nah, like, no, just the way they, you know, like I don't, like if they got a fucking blunt in their car, I'm not getting in. I'm not getting in that shit. I don't want to, you know. I ride so clean, man. Like, you know, 'cause I've been through all that too, man, and just scary, man. You know, any lead they could get, and just to be even part of that, you know, just, you know.
Because even like say these youngsters be posting up with strap. They see that, they go, oh, this happened. Look, there's a picture of you with the strap.
Yeah, I heard. I don't know if it's AI doing that or what, but they're picking up on all that. You know, like anything in what you say or what you type, they could pick up on your attitude about it if you were in a joking manner or something like that, or if it was like strategically or something. You know, it's kind of weird, man.
That is weird.
Yeah. So, you know, type with your, you know, like be cautious, you know, with your feelings and stuff, you know. But and even that though, it's really, I mean, in situations like that, I don't think it has anything to do with anything like that. It's just, I'm just saying, like AI with like, you know, Instagram and stuff, they're flagging things. Like if I type up something and I'm about to post something, they'll say this looks familiar to another post that got flagged. Are you sure you want to proceed with this? I'm like, oh no.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it did that.
Yeah. Yeah. But man, you're all alone with this, huh? Like shooting your boys?
Yeah, well, like all alone?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
like they got their mom and like all my mom, we're all together, like, but mostly like I'm the one pushing it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. But your other one's coming home, huh?
He'll be home in about a year, I would say.
Okay. Damn. Shit, man. I mean, yeah. Well, here's this platform, man. Is there anything else? I mean, if you know you want to just like advocate for your son, you know, reach out. Any kind of fundraisers you got going on?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep having fundraisers. Like my Cash App is up. Any donations, anything. Like,
yeah, let them know your Cash App.
Yeah, I'll take it's $Ruben Ray Arredondo, and you could find me on IG at SB_Logsta, Facebook Ruben Ray Arredondo, and I'm open to any donations because it's rough. And I'm also gonna have the taco sale tomorrow, asada potato sale. And I'm just going to keep continuing to do whatever it takes, maybe even a horseshoe tournament in the future, you know, just something like that. And just have, you know, just awareness of these youngsters, be aware of how you move.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just the way you move is the way people see you, and that'll get you caught up sometimes.
So you know, yeah, that's a good point, man. Like I tell my boys, man, what's the most important thing to you? You know, and they'll be like, you guys, my family, and you know, like, you know, the obvious, like, you can't be nothing to your family if you're locked up. You can't do shit for them. You know, somebody's trying to hurt them, harm them, you can't come speak for them. You know, by the time you get on the phone with somebody, it's already old, and the story's already, you know, time already healed the wounds, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, you gotta think about things like that, man. You know, make your move. So, you know, like I say myself, the way I say it, is I save myself for when somebody's knocking at my door, to protect my kids.
Oh yeah.
Protect my family. You can't go out there and crashing out like we used to, and you could end up dead, crippled. And then if you're crippled, you can't even protect your wife or your kids. And so just save yourself, man. But yeah, just keep those fundraisers up, man, and make it part of your job, man. And just
yeah, it is. It is like a job. It's a lot of work, and you just gotta stay. I never have been on social media like constant, and I just gotta stay constant. I give updates on TikTok too. Well, yeah, TikTok is Get Money Sunny. You can find me on there.
Okay.
And that's where I do most of the. Like I got the little campaign going on, Free Jesse James, and I give updates on him.
yeah, I've seen it. That's
that.
why I want to bring you on, so you could just another avenue, so you could get other people to
I appreciate
pitch in
that.
and help out. You know what I mean? So just Johnny, can we put the his Cash App and stuff in the links and stuff?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, when we drop the video, we'll have that in there. So if
Okay, appreciate that.
anybody watches this and stuff, and they want to help out, there's a lot of good people out there. You never know. Like one day, dude, this dude reached out to me from a fake page. That's why I don't dog fake pages out. Because before everybody, I would be blocking fake pages. I'm thinking it's just some hater trying to come back, right?
Yeah.
But it's hard to do that, because one day this fake page hit me up and says, "Hey man, I just wanted to tell you, hey, man, I follow you and I like what you do, and I want to bless you." I'm like, "What you mean?" And he's like, "Well, like what's your I forgot what he said. I think it was my PayPal." He said, "What's your pay?" And I sent him my PayPal, and boom, he sent $1,000.
Oh shit.
Yeah, man. And he never even told me who he was, never even wanted to be exposed, nothing. I was like, damn, So there's some good people out there, man.
Yeah.
There's some people who just they probably don't have a lot of family, and just that's something that makes them feel good,
Yeah.
or whatever it is. But
Well, hopefully he's watching. He put it on mine.
right, yeah, no, there's a lot of people out there, man. There's a lot, man. But what did you ever get any response about your TikTok? About your response about how
From
you
that other person?
Yeah.
No response.
Yeah, they probably feel like crap after that, man. Because I know I was looking at that, I was like, damn.
Yeah,
I know if I was behind that, I was like, I'd feel stupid.
Yeah, that was a little too personal. You go like, you don't know how I feel.
get it, right? I get it, right? People, if you're like, I'm not even like, I don't know. Okay, if you're trying to do the right thing, right? Do the right thing by yourself first.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, and that's that. But you can't do the right thing by knocking someone else down. It's like, what is that? You can't clean dirt with dirt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I guess people are a work in progress or something,
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, anything else you want to cover?
No, that's about it. Shoot, maybe if they go check out my music, that'll run up some money on my.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions though, and I just I'm kind of like, I'm hesitant to ask because it seems personal. I mean, it's it seems like, like.
Nah, shoot 'em, man.
Like, for example, are you losing sleep over this? I'm sure you have to be.
Like I barely get sleep as it is.
Yeah,
So
when you're a
it's
truck
like,
driver,
yeah.
I thought, I was like, damn, that has to be hard for this guy. Like,
You know what? Trucking is my therapy.
yeah,
That's when I go on the road and I
Yeah.
just.
right.
But at the same time, some mornings it'll get you. Like you just think about everything and you're like, bam, it gets you. But that is my therapy, and yeah, I just.
Let me ask you this: do you ever go to like I said, I'm not a church guy. I don't go to church, but I do believe in God. Do you ever go do you ever lean that way?
No, I'm looking for a church though. Me and my girl's been talking about like, hey, we should go to church. I talk to God every day, all
Because
day.
yeah, when you're going through that, I mean, everybody talks to God. If you're in the right mind, you got who else you're going to talk to when
Yeah.
you're going through the worst time of your life. You're like, no one else is giving you answers, so you're talking to yourself, or you're talking to God,
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the only thing that, like, when I felt like I was going through the worst time of my life, that's the only thing I didn't want to talk to nobody. I couldn't talk to them because I felt like every time I told somebody something personal, they'd go and utilize it for their own personal
Yeah.
reason to make somebody to entertain somebody with their conversation, for whatever reason. Not with the intentions to be negative, but people are just careless like that sometimes. So they just go share, so and so said, just great news for some people,
Yeah.
But yeah, wanted to ask you that, and you stay in Corcoran?
No, I stay in Visalia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, you gotta stay busy with that, man. And are you allowed to visit your son?
I put in the application when he was in Solano, and then I think it was like within a few weeks, then they sent him to Corcoran. So
Yeah.
I got to put in another application, but I'm like, okay, if I put it in now, are they going to send him back to Solano?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how that works too on that transportation.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put it in because I do want to see him.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in over a year.
Yeah. And poor youngster is like he doesn't have no space to even vent, really,
Yeah, he's like, man, everybody thinks they trip out on him because he's so little, He's like, what? You come from juvenile hall or something?
Yeah. Reality probably ain't, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Reality has to kick into him right now, right?
Oh yeah, he said he says he tries to keep busy, and he was like, but sometimes it hits me, But that's what I told him, like, just stay strong and like
keep the negative thoughts out, huh?
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Man, I have a hard time with that, the negative thoughts. It's just,
Oh yeah, because people always like, hey, you gotta think positive, not negative. Like, you can't help it,
Yeah. But I want to point out, like, the way you responded. To me, it was humble. It was more like heartfelt. It was humble. Like you could tell you're upset, but that's as far as you're gonna go with it. And I think that's as far as you should go with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my opinion, just to clear the air for your son, not to combat anybody else's opinion.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what you did, because you talked about you're a truck driver. Your father was a truck driver. Your intentions were, that's all you wanted your kids to come be,
Yeah, I was going to mold them to truckers.
Yeah, things like that. So I paid attention to those little things, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things you were talking about, but everything was just, you could tell it was all about, you were just, man, I'm just a man. I'm just trying to live,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm American. I'm out here trying to do the same thing everybody else is doing,
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I got out of that, man. And I give you your props, dude. As a man,
appreciate that.
hang in there, man, because I know that shit ain't easy.
Yeah.
I would hate to be going through something like that. I would.
It's like a nightmare.
Yeah, you held your kids like babies and stuff. You all those little things, all those memories could do. Does that pop up all the time? Like,
all the time.
How does
like,
this happen?
Start thinking about when he's little, and then like I posted a slideshow of him, like, and it was of him being little, growing up till now, and it's like, damn, that shit just hits me in the heart sometimes,
It's just like, yeah, man. Do you ever think like, what makes you realize how short life is, huh?
Yeah, and it's just like, I just want, like, just give me this last chance to try again. You give me one more shot.
Right, right.
He's still young. There's still a chance. Let me get him, and let me show you that, what I could do with this boy, and what he could do in life and be successful. Because it's always been talks about that. Like, we're gonna be successful,
Yeah. So you guys talked about it.
Oh yeah, all the time growing up. When they were both growing up, that's all we would talk about, like success, things of success, like never no negativity,
Yeah. I have a friend, so keep the faith and keep the hopes, man. I have a friend that has a son, and he went through hell and back too. He got sentenced at a young age like that, and I think he did like over 6, but he wasn't supposed to do that much, but ended up getting more time.
Yeah.
In there, and he kind of felt that he failed as a father, and and his kid's life was over because they kept getting time, you know, and he don't think his son's ever gonna make it because he was young, and he don't think his son was like bright enough to probably like learn to figure out a way around it, you know.
Yeah.
But his son ended up coming home, and he's a young man still, you know. And back then it looked like it was a long time, but that time came and went so fast. And now he's a minister.
Nice.
He's a minister in a church.
Okay.
You know, and he's a youngster. You know, so there is hope, man. There is faith. There is some good miracles and stories that happen. You know. What I mean? And I know if I was on the other end of that, I wouldn't. My hope would be very, very low. You know, but when you're in that situation, all you could do is like think negative, right? But when it's the positive people that come around you that pick you back up and be like, because they're strong, right? And you're kind of weak right now, so strong. Be like, hey, no, dude, you could do it. You know what I mean? Like, you could do it. Like push through it, because I seen it happen. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I just want to share that with you, man. And you know, my heart goes out to you and your family and stuff. And I think there is always light at the end of the tunnel. Because shit, I was dragging my feet for 4 years, thinking it was over for me, facing 10 years, and I'm like, dude, 10 years for me, even 5 years for me, that's like a life sentence at our age. Like, you know, you don't know if we're going to come home. You don't know if you're going to build. I'm talking about not just the situations in there, but it could be your health. You know, and it's like, you want to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For that.
And then people on the outside, too, pass away and all that while you're in there.
Yeah. So, that's not a good thing to do. But, man, how far do you travel with your truck driving?
Shoot, I go up to Oregon. Or like just borderline Oregon down to the Mexican border.
Does it make you feel like the further you get away from home, do you feel better?
I actually do. That's
weird,
like some people be like, hey, why don't you just get a local job? I'm like, no, I don't like local. I'd rather take that far drive, you know?
It's the further you get away from that, you like your town or city, it's like you start feeling like
a relief, kind of, sort of.
As soon as you get back, you start feeling that depression kick in.
Yeah, here it comes.
That's like, a trip, man.
That's how I feel when I go back to town, to Corcoran. Like I'm out of town. Like I go to the store. Sometimes I run into people that I know, but it's like nobody knows me. Then I come back to Corcoran, and I'm like, shit, here we go. Like so much has happened there. You know, I mean, there's strong history and there's strong love, but there's so much that's happened.
Yeah. You don't feel the peace, huh?
Yeah,
you don't feel that peace no more. Yeah, that's why sometimes people take off and they bounce out and they move in these little towns in a different state, you know, and have a whole different life, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think we're meant to just stay put in one little spot, you know. I think we're meant to travel, you know. You'd probably be more successful in a different place. You know.
Yeah, that's true. That's what my boy would talk about too. Is like, man, when I come home, like, because it's always talk about when I come home. It's not like if, or you know, like what if I don't. It's always like when I come home, I'm gonna bounce. Like, I'm gonna stay with you for a while, get on my feet, and I'm gone. Like I said, that's what you should do.
Yeah. So you applied to go visit your son?
Yeah.
So what? Like
when he was in Solano, but we never got the response, and then he's back in Corcoran, so
you got to go apply.
I got to reapply right there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's important right there. I'm sure you know that to see him and let him talk to you. You know.
Yeah, and it was a lot too because I had to go to the courthouse because I don't remember all my charges, all my cases, so I had to go to the courthouse and get all my stuff, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even remember all that.
Do they let you visit when you have felonies?
I believe so, but it's just like it's been so long. That's what I think. Like, because I haven't been in trouble since that boy's been born, 19 years.
Yeah. Damn. In a long time, but so he's just stuck there, just not knowing what's going on. When's his next court date?
What is it? April 1st.
April 1st. And what is that? Is it the first hearing? Or?
He had his. He barely got arraigned. That was the first one, and now now it's the next one.
That's gonna keep it. That's gonna go long.
Yeah. Then it's like again, continuance, and
maybe Because I know those top lawyers, they won't see nobody for less than 25,000 just to start, but maybe they'll give you some advice for a couple hundred.
Yeah.
The top lawyers.
This dude I talked to, he was like, hey, even if you don't hire me, he's like, if you have any questions, just give me a call. I was like,
okay.
I appreciate that.
All right. Well, that's good. Yeah, that's it, man. I don't want to get too personal about it. I just wanted to touch bases and give you this platform to help out, to reach out to a wider audience, to help with donations and stuff like that for your son's legal fees.
I appreciate that. Because I got to meet that point because it's stressful, and we're talking about 50 G's just to get started, for the trial. And it's like,
yeah.
Sometimes you feel like you're not going to reach that point, but it's possible.
Nah, you could, man. Especially selling food, because food sells itself, and a lot of people like to go and buy food from people who are doing like a good, deed and stuff like that. For a good cause. They like to invest their money and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, and hopefully I do this horseshoe tournament too.
But like you said, you got to stay consistent at it.
Yeah.
You got to make it. I don't know what days you have off or whatever, but they just dedicate it, until it's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only advice I could give you, man, is just keep having faith, man, and stay close to your son and talk to him as much as possible, and hurry up and go see him. You could be his counselor, his faith.
Yeah.
They like to hear. I know that's going to keep him mentally okay.
Yeah, it's like comfort. It's just like you hear a loved one's voice, or you're just
give him a sense of hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you feel that comfort, like, all right, I got you. You have to feel that love,
Yeah.
Because being behind them gray walls, there ain't no love right there. Feel your own love,
Yeah. But yeah, it sucks, man. But you still gotta be solid. You still gotta have faith, and everything. All your beliefs, you still gotta stay intact.
Yeah.
And that's that, man. I know that's all. So many of us went through that stuff, and we still, you still gotta have faith in everything you believe in.
Yeah.
Everything. It's not, everything comes in the fold. Your family, what you grew up in, God, everything,
Yeah.
And just gotta stay solid. That's it, man. But again, man, if there's anything else you want to touch up in, other than that, we're just gonna wrap this up.
That's it. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Matt, we're out.